top-ranked women's college basketball has arrived in Knoxville. The 11th-ranked Lady Vols and their star senior Isabel Harrison welcome in cross-country rival number 7 Stanford, winners of 3 in a row in this historic series. But Holly Warlick's team certainly won't back down as these two elite programs meet for the 32nd time.
Bring your best. Bring your best. And represent what's on your chest, Lady Vols. You know what? We're the only team that may be wearing it, but they damn sure ain't gonna take it away from us. Yeah. You go represent what's on your shirt. All right? All right, let's go.
Live from historic Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, Tennessee, the SEC Network proudly presents college basketball. A special annual renewal of this incredible rivalry between Tennessee and Stanford. Combined 10 national championships, 30 NCAA Final Four appearances, over 2,100 wins. And although Tennessee has had the better of the series, it is the Stanford Cardinal that have won 3 in a row. And 4 out of the last 5. Welcome, everybody. Big crowd on hand, and why not? Special day on the calendar here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and with someone who knows an awful lot about this series. Nell Fortner, I'm Paul Sunderland. Thanks for joining us. And Tennessee, lofty national rankings, Stanford as well. But for the Tennessee Volunteers, the Lady Vols over the last couple of games, they have really been a little less than good at the offensive end. They're going to have to be very, very good today.
Well, definitely. But both teams right now are trying to still find their comfort zone offensively. Tennessee, they come in here winning their last 4, but not without their offensive struggles. Teams are collapsing on the interior, which puts outside shooting at a premium. Enter senior Sierra Burdick. She's making her 4th start today this season. She had 10 points, 17 rebounds in their last win versus Wichita State earlier this week. With her starting, offensive firepower is the expectation from her on the perimeter.
Continuity, making shots, a handful of different starting lineups so far for the Tennessee Lady Vols. They come in at 8-2. For the Stanford Cardinal, Tara Vanderveer, their Hall of Fame head coach, told me just moments ago this is the youngest team we've had in 15 years. They didn't look very young against UConn, but they got a very different look, and at times as well, they've looked like an inexperienced team.
Well, the past 6 seasons, we've seen an Agumake in the middle of the Stanford triangle offense. Hey, this season, no more Agumake, into a new offense. How about the pick and roll, penetrating kick, spacing and more spacing for the Stanford Cardinal to take advantage of their long-range shooters, and it rests on the shoulders of 2 guards. Sophomore Lily Thompson averaging 18 points a game, and senior Amber Orange hitting at 13 a clip.
Let's take a look now quickly at the starting lineups. Thompson and Orange. Samuelson up front. Kaylee Johnson already a couple of 20 rebound games along with Erica McCall. And there is Tara Vanderveer, elected to the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2011, 4-time National Coach of the Year and into the Final Four 6 of the last 7 years. A remarkable accomplishment. Holly Warlick in her 3rd season as head coach after succeeding the legendary Pat Summitt. 30th year here at Tennessee, a 3-time All-American, 29-6 last year, 13-3 before being eliminated in the Sweet 16. The starters, Reynolds, Jasmine Jones, back after some concussion-like symptoms, did not play in Tuesday's game against Wichita State. A narrow, hard-fought victory for the Lady Vols, of course, in their home whites, and Stanford in their road Cardinal uniforms, and we're underway. Boy, excited. Expected a very good and very important basketball game for both of these teams.
Well, you're going to see Stanford opening up in a man defense right now, just trying to put the pressure on and bring help on the inside.
And that opens up things on the perimeter. About a 15-foot straightaway jump shot for Bashara Graves.
Well, that's a good start for Bashara Graves. She needs to score points for her confidence on both ends of this floor.
Lily Thompson off the high screen and roll. Misses one from outside the arc. Long rebound. And rebounding, Nell Fortner, is going to be an absolutely huge story for both of these teams. Tennessee, just a monster on the boards. And for Stanford, an inexperienced front line, and they're going to have to step up with their physicality.
Well, in talking to Tara Vanderveer yesterday, rebounding definitely is at a premium today. They've got to stop and keep Tennessee off the O boards also.
Orange off the side of the iron. Jordan Reynolds, 5'11" sophomore out of Portland, Oregon, with a long rebound, wearing number 0 in white. Stanford really sagging off some of the shooters on the perimeter.
You see the convergence when the ball goes into the post, though, like most teams this season against Tennessee. They're converging on those post players to take away easy looks.
Kaylee Johnson, freshman out of Wyoming, who averages 12 rebounds per game with her first. Lily Thompson down the lane, looking for some contact. Not there, and the rebound taken by Sierra Burdick, who had a career-high 17 on Tuesday night. Jasmine Jones on the step-through, might have been hit on the arm. No harm, no foul, apparently, and we'll go the other way.
Well, Jasmine Jones, a great athlete for the Lady Vols, missed the game against Wichita State, got hit in the head in their Rutgers game, but she's back on the floor. She brings a lot of great defensive presence to the Lady Vols.
That's the fourth game that she had missed 3 in a row with a concussion, and then took a shot in the narrow victory at Rutgers. Very physical game there, no surprise at all, and then had to sit out the game on Tuesday. First personal foul on number 44. That is Samuelson, Carly Samuelson, 6-foot sophomore out of Huntington Beach, just south of the Los Angeles area. And checking in for the first time, Taylor Greenfield, 6'3" senior. Were you surprised that Stanford went away from their traditional triangle offense?
No, I'm not. And it's interesting because Tara was talking about how her post players used to get beat up there on the block. And now she wants to open up this spacing, let these guards really take advantage of it. And we're seeing it already in their offense. They haven't scored yet, but they've gotten penetration against the Tennessee defense. Thompson
averaged 9 points per game last year, averaging 18 this year, so you'll see a huge impact there. Almost a turnover. Shot clock is winding down. Jones on the runner. Off the back of the iron. Ball is tipped. Long rebound saved by Tennessee.
You're seeing the athleticism of Jasmine Jones right now. She's a great leaper. She's so quick to the ball. Fast feet.
Jones playing some screen and roll down the middle. Some contact off the back of the iron. Battle for the rebound. Erica McCall in there battling with Jasmine Jones, and on the possession arrow, it'll be Stanford basketball.
You know, Erica McCall brings great size for Stanford inside. She's a good athlete, a McDonald's All-American coming out of high school, and has a pretty good sister also, Duana Bonner, who plays for the Phoenix Mercury, who I was fortunate enough to coach at Auburn.
McCall, just a sophomore, again, back to the inexperience in the front court. Johnson all the way down the lane, lays that up and in, did not hit the rim. And some poor shooting that has befallen both of these teams early. That shot blocked from behind. Boy, the referees are letting them play. Here comes Orange, ball on the floor. Stanford will look to reset, but I say that very carefully because they might go quickly.
We see how both of these Stanford guards trying to continually penetrate into the middle of the paint, but have yet to find the basket.
Really poor shooting early. Stanford 0 for 4. Tennessee 1 of 6. The second turnover for the Stanford Cardinal. Graves double team. Back out to Jones. 10 to shoot. Harrison touching it for the first time. To the rim, not there. Gets her own rebound. Back up and in. Difference maker for Tennessee.
And that's what Bashar Graves does so well. She's just a glass eater on the offensive boards. And that's where she gets so many of her points, is on those second chance putbacks.
Graves and Harrison down inside. A real load for Stanford. Here's Orange. Stepping back. Open three. Tennessee played behind the screen. And the offensive rebound taken by Stanford. Just underway. 30-second meeting all time between the Cardinal and the Lady Vols. SEC Network Basketball is brought to you by Regions Bank. Regions, official bank of the SEC.
This moment, it's been 40 years in the making. Passing the torch from father to son is why your family partnered with Regions in the first place. From succession planning to your first day as CEO, Regions shares your vision for moving forward. And at moments like this, that makes all the difference. Is your business at a turning point? Turn to Regions.
Santa baby, just slip a sable under the tree for me. I've been an angel all year, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. So hurry down the chimney.
official retail department store of the SEC.
How would you like to save 70, 80, or 90% off electronics, handbags, jewelry, and much more?
I got this $200 designer handbag for $29.
I got this $220 Android tablet for only 49 bucks.
I got these dog boots for just 19 bucks. That's 76% off retail.
All items are shipped to you for just $2 flat.
Holiday shopping at NoMoreRack.com is safe, simple, and convenient.
It's called NoMoreRack.com.
Well, I think Isabel Harrison really developed into our leader.
Harrison, basket counts and one.
I just want to keep on getting better as a player. I look back on my senior season and know that I did everything that I could possibly do for this team. I just want people to know me to be a hard worker and a great post player.
Isabel Harrison missed 5 games after spraining her right knee in the opener against Penn, but certainly back and making a big difference here for the Lady Vols. Now the third member of our broadcast team, former Florida Gators star Steffi Sorensen, joining us on the sideline. Steffi?
Paul now mentioned the fact that Tennessee is still trying to find its offensive comfort zone. But because the guards have struggled to shoot the ball from the perimeter, that's translated into double and triple teams for center Izzy Harrison. Now, Holly Warlick said 2 years ago that might have frustrated her, but this year she's done a tremendous job shouldering the load offensively for the Lady Vols. Now, I had a chance to talk to Izzy yesterday, and she said that, look, I take the double and triple teams as a compliment. So I'm going to continue looking to find ways to get my teammates involved. So look for her to get different screening opportunities to get players involved, guys.
There you see some of the double team. Thank you very much, Steffi. And immediately the attention paid down in the paint. Bashar Graves off to a great start. A couple of 15-footers and an offensive rebound.
Well, you're exactly right. Bashar Graves is finding her groove in another area of the court, and that's from the 15-foot line, and she's knocking them down today. But it's because of the attention that Isabel Harrison is taking on the inside that's leaving her open.
Ariel Massengale, number 5 in white, the 5'7" senior out of Illinois, on at the point now into Harrison. Kicks out of the double team. Burdick wide open.
But that's what Sierra Burdick brings to the table, is that mid-range jumper that really can ignite this Tennessee offense.
Look for an adjustment at the defensive end for Stanford. Drive and kick, and finally the Stanford Cardinal are on the board from long range. Taylor Greenfield, that's just her 4th three-pointer on 19 attempts.
You know, Stanford is so long and lengthy. Taylor Greenfield at 6'3", playing that 3 spot and able to really stretch a defense. That's nice to have within this offense.
Andrea Carter, number 14 in white, down in the corner, on for the first time. Took a real hard shot from one of her teammates on Tuesday night. Was doubtful, but out there early in this game. Harrison, nice spin move down the lane, but that's going to be wiped away on a traveling violation. Andrea Carter, 5'9", redshirt sophomore out of Georgia. Been struggling from the floor, but also look at this. Oh, when things are going bad, you get hammered by your own teammate inadvertently.
Well, that was a really hard hit. I wasn't sure if she was going to even get up off the floor on that one, but she's back. She's their energizer. They need her on the floor for her great defensive presence.
Kylie Johnson on for the first time, 6'3" sophomore out of the Northwest. And finally, Stanford starting to find a little bit of rhythm at the offensive end. They trailed 8-0 and have gone on a 5-0 run to answer. Well,
Lily Thompson, their leading scorer from that point guard position. Great job of penetrating and getting all the way to the glass. Where's the Tennessee help defense is the biggest question.
Burdick, couple of dribbles, pull up 17-footer off the back of the iron, tip and long rebound taken by the Stanford Cardinal. This is Amber Orange, once again, all Pac-12 the last couple of years. Nice stop, turnaround, and 7 straight points for the visiting Cardinal.
Well, you see how much Tara really depends on these 2 guards, Thompson and Orange, to really get into the teeth of the Tennessee defense and make plays for themselves or their teammates.
Carter looking at a 3-pointer off the side of the iron. We've talked about her shooting woes, and a rebounding machine is Sierra Burdick again with her 2nd offensive rebound.
Well, Carter has a beautiful shot, but right now she's in a deep tank, and she's got to find her way out of it.
1 for her last 19. Massengale looks at a 3. Good block out by the Stanford Cardinal. And knocked to the floor that time is Isabel Harrison, picking up her first personal foul.
Here's a better look at that Stanford offense. That's Lily Thompson getting all the way to the hole. No help coming over. And here's Amber Orange. Same thing. No help right there. The Tennessee perimeter defenders more concerned about the kick out and the three. You know, Paulter, that's one way to look at it. Hey, give them the two. Don't give up the three. You know, not as many points being scored there.
But also, you should not be able to go in a straight line as Thompson is here. Good ball fake there off the iron. Some quick help late, that time by Jasmine Jones. Here comes Graves and continues her fantastic start so far for the Tennessee Lady Vols.
This is the best I've seen Bashara Graves play in a long time. She's showing us a multitude of offensive weapons. That's a full court push on her part and not drawing the charge at the end of it.
Look at Graves at the other end doing the work and just shoveling the ball forward. Massengale on the hustle play. That's one way to solve offensive woes, is get after it at the defensive end.
Well, Tennessee loves to steal the ball and then push it, and that's one thing when an opponent comes into Thompson Bowling Arena. You better not turn the ball over or you're in trouble. This is Graves pushing the ball by herself. She doesn't give it up. She goes all the way to the hole and does not draw that charge, which is a very smart play. And here she is getting out in a passing lane, hustling for the ball on the floor. Nothing is too hard or too much for her. And Ariel Massengale finishes it off with the layup.
12-7 lead for the Lady Vols. Stanford, 5 turnovers already.
But, Paul, what we're seeing here is Tennessee taking advantage of their depth. Push and press. They have the amount of players to do that for 40 minutes.
Alexa Middleton on for the first time. Step back jumper. And boy, Stanford has come out really struggling at the defensive end. Just one make after another, this time by Jamie Nard.
Well, right now, Tennessee's depth is on full display. There's Jamie Nard off the bench right there as a freshman. What a beautiful stroke she has.
Down the middle, not there. And opportunities here on the step-back pull-up jump shot. Boy, you got to like this pace. An awful lot better for the Tennessee Lady Vols. And he made a great point about their depth. There's no reason that they can't press for 40 minutes. They have got 6 McDonald's All-Americans on their roster and great quality all the way down the bench. 11-10 remaining in the opening half.
They've got some nice shooters on the perimeter. Alexa Middleton, a freshman. Jamie Nard, a freshman. That they can light it up.
Jasmine Jones on the miss, but on the block out, a foul is going to be called against Stanford.
This is Jamie Nard going to show us a little bit of something from the outside. She's got range. I'm from Portland. I've got range, and I can make it rain.
It's the moments we share that mean so much. It's the little things that add up to something more. It's playing the game without knowing the score. And it's the place in our hearts filled by the ones we love. Franklin American Mortgage. It all begins with home.
Gary, help me! No! My Uma! No! Uma is how I make crystal clear nationwide phone calls for free.
Not a toy.
Uma connects to my internet and my home phone. Voicemail, call waiting.
Thanks, Gary. Whew. Gary, no.
Bad dog.
Crystal clear nationwide calling for free. Uma, the smartphone for your home.
Millions of businesses count on Fiverr every day to get things done faster, better, and on budget. Fiverr.com is the world's largest marketplace for the professional and creative services you need to give your business a boost. Best of all, every service on Fiverr starts at just $5. Go to Fiverr.com now and discover how easy it is to find the exact service you need at the price you want. No bidding, no membership fees. Just browse, buy, done. Sign up today for free at Fiverr.com.
The Stanford Cardinal and the Tennessee Lady Vols for the 32nd time. And right now, Tennessee and Bashar Graves taking full advantage of 5 careless turnovers by the Stanford Cardinal.
Well, if you're going to get in here and play Tennessee in Thompson Bowling Arena, you better take care of the ball, finish at the basket, because they want to run and push it. But Bashar Graves is really showing us so many of her offensive weapons today. Her ball handling much improved, but right now her outside shot really doing the trick for the Lady Vols.
What sort of adjustments do you expect from Stanford, because they were really packing in their man-to-man defense and letting Tennessee shoot the ball over the top, and so far the Lady Vols knocking down most of the open opportunities.
Well, and what they're not knocking down, they're getting the O board. They've got to put bodies on people and keep Tennessee off the offensive boards and stop those second chance opportunities.
Jasmine Jones off the back of the iron, strong rebound in traffic taken by the Cardinal, and here comes Lily Thompson. Out to Samuelson, dead-eye three-point shooter, but that one beyond NBA range and barely glanced off the iron as Alexa Middleton quickly into the front court, forcing the action, and that's going to be a turnover called off of Tennessee.
You know, the Bonnie Samuelson shot right there was a great look for her. She's an excellent three-point shooter, and that is what she wants to do for the Stanford Cardinal. But you've got to hit rim. You've got to at least give your teammates an opportunity for an offensive rebound.
Wide open off the perimeter. Brianna Roberson, 5'7" sophomore out of Southern California, knocking that down. And all Tennessee so far, leading 15-10 after they got out to the 8-0 start.
She's been a guard that really has brought a lot of depth, good depth off of this Cardinal bench in this penetrating offense.
Middleton, deep three on the way, and there's an air ball there as well.
So Roberson comes off the Stanford Cardinal bench and really extends this Tennessee defense. And she doesn't hesitate to pull the trigger. They know what their roles are in this pick and roll offense, this penetrate and kick offense. You get an open shot, you have a green light.
Roberson now 5 of 10 from outside the arc, so certainly in a very good comfort zone as far as she and her teammates are concerned. Thompson working around a couple of screens.
Tennessee switching right there on Samuelson, making sure they don't give up an easy three to her.
Shot clock at 8. Thompson got to go. And again, big help on the outside. Good strong rebound inside by Isabel Harrison. Good block out.
Tennessee spacing the floor, trying to get a little bit more opportunity to not draw so much help if they get the ball inside.
Harrison, nice pass. Carter down inside among the trees, lays it up and in. And maybe that'll get her going offensively.
You know, she really is such a capable offensive player, but she does need to see the ball go in the hole in order to get that confidence back.
Stanford is running a lot of high screen, but the length and athleticism, little slip there by Johnson down inside, misses that, gets her own rebound, and Burdick comes away with it. But the perimeter players for Stanford just can't seem to free themselves on all of these ball screen switches by the Stanford Cardinal.
Well, you look how big Tennessee is right now on the floor. Andrea Carter, Ariel Massengale, still some nice sized bodies, but they're so big from the 3, 4, and 5 spot. That just gives a shooter havoc with that length on them.
See, Harrison comes out on Thompson now, and Thompson can't see the rim.
A luxury. When you can switch all 5 positions defensively on the floor, it's very hard for an offense to operate.
Tennessee leading it 17-10. Here's Thompson with some space, working one-on-one against Carter off the high screen. Hard dribble, pull-up jumper not there, and solid defense again, once again, by the Tennessee Lady Vols. Down the middle, and a foul is going to be called, and Ariel Massengale is knocked to the floor.
Well, here's Andrea Carter. She's going to see that ball go in the hole right here. Great passing by Tennessee. Right now, they are 6 assists on 8 made field goals. The Lady Vols are playing some good ball.
You're here to buy a car. What would help is simply being able to recognize a fair price. That's never really been possible. But along comes a radically new way to buy a car called TrueCar. And now it is. TrueCar has pricing data on every make and model. So all you have to do is search for the car you want. There it is. Now you're an expert in less than a minute. This is how car buying was always meant to be. This is True Car.
Monday, doubleheader action is on the SEC ESPN network. The Volunteers and SEC Player of the Week, Josh Richardson, look to stay undefeated at home.
And there's the steal by Richardson. Richardson's got it.
As they host Mercer. Then LSU seeks to continue its winning ways behind sophomore Jordan Mickey.
Jordan Mickey with his 5th double-double of the season.
When the College of Charleston comes to Baton Rouge, Mercer, Tennessee at 7. College of Charleston, LSU at 9. Monday only on the SEC ESPN network.
When a small business needs to secure financing to do things like buy new equipment, purchase inventory, or hire more employees, they turn to OnDeck, the small business loan experts. OnDeck has provided over $1 billion in true business loans to more than 700 industries. Unlike traditional lenders, OnDeck says yes faster and more often. Maybe that's why 93% of our customers said they would recommend us, and why OnDeck has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Go online now to find out how we can take your business to the next level. Why is OnDeck a better choice for small businesses? We evaluate the health of your business, not just your personal credit score. With OnDeck, you can receive a decision in minutes, not months. And best of all, funding in as fast as 1 business day. At OnDeck, we actually want to lend to small business. How can we help your small business? Go to OnDeck.com and find out. There's no obligation, and you can receive a decision in minutes. Visit us online at OnDeck.com today.
Yes! That's a way to play! You see Hollywood, like she's happy.
Well, Holly Warlick obviously very happy with the way her team is playing, and why not? They've been turning over the Stanford Cardinal. Let's quickly go back over to the sideline and Steffi Sorensen.
Well, Paul, there was 3 points of emphasis for the Stanford huddle on offense. One, they have to move the ball, also set good legal screens, and also, now you talked about Tennessee being able to switch from 1 through 5 on those screens, and Tara Vanderveer said if you're going to switch, then post players have to slip to the basket to try to get an open look. Paul?
Well, and to Steffi's point, thank you very much, Steffi. Exactly what we noticed. The length of Tennessee is really bothering Stanford's perimeter players on that switch in defense. So get into the Stanford huddle. You heard Tara Vanderveer. What would be your adjustment?
Well, right now, it's just what Tara said. You've got to slip those screens. If they're going to switch, you have to make the defense pay for that. And the one that's switching onto the screener is in a very vulnerable position. Make them pay with the slip or rolling hard into that defender.
Tennessee leading at 19-10. Ariel Massengale to the sideline after making a couple of free throws. And that's going to be a 10-second violation. Careless once again by the Stanford Cardinal. Erica Payne, number 25, in Cardinal on for the first time. 7th turnover. Very uncharacteristic.
Well, this is absolutely a huge team that's Lady Vols have on the floor right now. Jordan Reynolds, 6-foot point guard. You've got 6'3", 6'2". You've got 6'2" and 6'3" all over the floor right now. So very difficult to see over if you're an offense.
If you're wondering, Stanford only averages 13 turnovers on the season. Again, already with 7. Just under 7.5 minutes to play in the opening half. Jones, couple of dribbles, pull up 17-footer, goes to get her offensive rebound. Shooter always knows where it's coming off, and here comes Iran.
Well, that's where Stanford really has to improve, and that is their boxing out. You can't allow Tennessee to constantly clean the glass on the offensive end.
First personal foul on Jasmine Jones, only the 2nd team foul right now on Tennessee, and Stanford is out of fouls. Orange with it at the point. Lily Thompson on the sideline for the first time now. Orange, a little change of pace, lays it up. The foul was called on the perimeter, so it will be Stanford basketball. And quickly, the 2nd and 3rd team fouls going against the Lady Vols. First personal foul on Jordan Reynolds, number 0 in white.
This is where spacing for Stanford comes at a premium. You have got to get this Tennessee defense really spread wide so you can get yourself all the way to the hole if you're a penetrator.
Brittany McPhee, number 12 in Cardinal, for the visitors on for the first time. Oh, I thought there was a travel, and indeed, dragging her pivot foot was Carly Samuelson. So give yet another turnover to the Stanford Cardinal. And Sunday, the SEC ESPN Network brings you the SEC Women's College Basketball SEC Big 12 Challenge. The number 4th ranked Texas A&M Aggies face in-state rival number 3 Texas at 1:30 in a battle for the Lone Star State. Then the Arkansas Razorbacks take on the Oklahoma Sooners at 3:30 exclusively on the SEC ESPN Network. And of course, watch ESPN. And the Aggies and the Longhorns not playing on the football field any longer, but getting together on the basketball court. There you see some of the particulars. You've seen both teams. Know, what do you think about that matchup?
Well, this is a huge matchup between Texas and Texas A&M. They have never met each other, being ranked number 3, number 4, respectively. So the rivalry is big enough as it is. But to be ranked and be undefeated as they meet each other, huge day in women's basketball. But also Oklahoma and Arkansas, they're both receiving votes in the top 25. It'll be it's a great day for women's basketball.
Is the matchup between Texas and Texas A&M a little bit like Tennessee and Stanford in that A&M is guard-oriented and Texas has a lot more size, although they've got quality right up and down their roster?
Well, you could probably definitely speak to that because A&M's guards are extremely... They're good.
Coming out of the Stanford timeout, Jones with it. Pass down inside to Harrison. Gives it up to Bashar Graves behind the board. Shot clock at 4. Step back, three-pointer on the way. Well, the Stanford Cardinal are doing a great job of blocking out. Bodies everywhere, but they got to go get the basketball.
Well, that has to be a point of emphasis for the rest of the game.
Speaking of bodies flying, you think this rivalry has got something to it? The last time these two teams played with so much on the line, 2008 for the national championship. Behind Candace Parker, the Tennessee Lady Vols won that. Orange down the lane, floater off the front of the iron, and it'll be Tennessee and Reynolds coming away with a rebound. Nobody stops the ball. Reynolds pulls up for a 15-footer. Harrison, offensive rebound, puts it back up and in.
Well, with this lineup offensively for Tennessee, it might not be the best lineup in the half-court offense, but it is an excellent one if you're going to push the ball in transition and crash the boards.
Contact down along the baseline. That's going to be a foul called against Bashara Graves as she ran through the screen set by Kaylee Johnson. Biggest lead of the game so far, 11 points, 21-10. It has been the Lady Vols after getting off to an 8-0 start. They have been in control, 5:36 remaining. Only the first personal foul on Graves, and she has been all over the court at both ends.
Well, it's nice to see her find her groove at this point in the season because Tennessee relies on her a lot on both ends of the floor, and she needs that good confidence.
Thompson back on, only 1 for 6 so far from the floor, but she's got a lot of company there. In terms of Stanford struggling from the floor, only 4 of 16 overall.
This defensive pressure by Tennessee is outstanding today. They are pressuring the ball, the length. There is not anything right now that Stanford can see around them or over them to get going offensively. Andrea Carter, one of the best defenders on this team, if not the best. Feathery feet, quick leaper, but does a great job of stopping the ball.
Greenfield with a wild shot there at the end of a very unattractive possession, but give Tennessee some credit. That was some superb defense. 6-0 run now for the Lady Vols. Harrison double, triple, kicks outside. Carter's got to look at the three-pointer. Just doesn't have any confidence right now against the shot clock and dribbles herself into a nearly impossible shot. Andrea Carter had a layup earlier to end a streak of 1 for 19 from the floor.
Well, once again, Izzy Harrison was converged upon by 3 defenders from Stanford. She found the open man, but Andrea Carter has to be able to ready to knock down that shot.
Full court pressure forces yet another turnover, the 9th for Stanford. They average only 13 on the season. Burdick wide open, just inside the three-point line. That was a long 2, and now the lead is 23-10. Orange dribbling coast to coast, little bump foul on the perimeter. That will go against Harrison, 15th foul against Tennessee.
Well, this is why Sierra Burdick is back in the starting lineup, because she can knock these shots down. She's so good from the baseline, has playing with a lot of confidence right now. She's a senior, very experienced player.
Tennessee's defense has made Stanford's offense look terrible. Stanford can get nothing done at the offensive end. Stanford averages 77 points per game. They beat UConn.
Well, the sheer size and the speed and quickness of the Tennessee defense is really just creating so many problems for Stanford.
Illegal screen down inside, so yet another turnover. Lady Vols basketball when we come back to Knoxville.
Tommy Copper has designed comfortable copper and zinc-infused compression gear that redefines muscle recovery and soreness relief for young and old.
It's not a matter of if you get hurt, it's a matter of when and how bad.
I've seen every kind of different injury there is. When I'm done riding bucking horses, my day job begins.
Every little positive increment you can get to make your body feel better counts.
Because of my sport, because it's so brutal, I wear compression all the time.
I really consider a Tommy Copper knee sleeve my security blanket.
Compression is a great way to relieve those everyday aches and pains.
From top athletes looking for another notch on their belt to everyday folks that can't call in sick with a sore knee, shoulder, wrist, foot, or elbow.
Doesn't matter if my feet ache. I need to show up every day.
No excuses.
That's how you stay on top. That's how you become a champion. That's how you put your name in the record books.
Tommy Copper's original 24-hour compression is designed to help harness the body's natural recovery.
You got to go to TommyCopper.com to get it.
All right, coming up on the SEC Halftime Report, Tony Delk, Dane Bradshaw. We'll break down the first half of this game. What do you think so far, Tony?
Tennessee defense, as advertised, is stopping the Stanford ladies.
Sierra Burdick continues to do a great job filling in for Jasmine Jones.
We'll also break down a big matchup, Texas A&M versus Texas Lady Hoops, and get you caught up on some SEC scores and highlights coming up at half.
Back once again at Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, Tennessee, home of the Lady Vols, the 32nd meeting between number 7 Stanford and number 11 Tennessee. And it has been all the Lady Vols with Nell Fortner. I'm Paul Sunderland along with Steffi Sorensen. Tennessee got out to an 8-0 start. And since that time, the whole story has been their tremendous performance at the defensive end.
Well, it has, Paul. They are just playing some great pressure man defense, but the thing that really is rattling Stanford is they're switching these on-ball screens. And when you're Lily Thompson and you're switching on to 6'3", Isabel Harrison coming on you, that is long and lengthy right there. Stanford unable to really get into the teeth of this Tennessee defense to score or to kick to the open shooter.
So far, Stanford just 4 of 17 from the floor, 2 of 6 from outside the arc. They have yet to shoot a free throw. Big story there as well. So Tennessee playing solid defense without fouling. They have 5 team fouls. Stanford is out of fouls. Back at the point is Jordan Reynolds. Sierra Burdick off to the left side. Also on is Ariel Massengale, number 5 in white. Bashara Graves really got things going offensively for the Lady Vols. She's with it straight away.
Right now, Tennessee gone to a little, I guess, a little small ball when you put Sierra Burdick in at the 4, even though they're still a pretty nice-sized team. But trying to spread this Stanford defense out.
Long shot taken, and the rebound battled for down inside. Kaylee Johnson has got it. Stanford got to take care of the ball again. 4 turnovers in the last 6 possessions. Thompson with it up top. Leading scorer has really struggled. Again, just 1 for 6. Straightaway three-pointer off the side of the iron. Long rebound taken by the Lady Vols. Here comes Massengale out of the backcourt. Carter runs right over Thompson. I think that was a good call. You don't have to be stationary. misconception by a lot of people who watch a lot of the game, and Lauren or the shoulder drew the offensive foul.
Well, the defense has a right to get to a point also, so the offense can't run through that point, so it was a good call. You know, the tough thing for Stanford right now is that they're trying to get back in the game without having a post presence to get some easy buckets, some high percentage shots. Everything's coming from the outside, and if you're not hitting, it's hard to get yourself going.
Switching the screen once again, shot clock at 5. Stanford continues to really struggle and is going to get bailed out here. Tennessee played good defense for 28 seconds. The last thing you want to do is foul at the end of that. So now it will be finally free throws coming to the Stanford Cardinal. Graves picks up her second personal.
Well, it's one of the Cardinal sins of defense, and that's reaching in. Didn't see a whole lot there, but they get called for maybe a hip or a reach in right there. And Stanford gets to the free throw line, which they have badly needed this first half.
Orange, expert at the line, an 83%er overall. As mentioned, Middleton coming back on, and Jasmine Jones. Jasmine Jones, again, did not play on Tuesday night, the narrow victory over Wichita State, and had missed 3 games previously with concussion and concussion-like symptoms, and rightfully so. Continuing to be very, very careful. Tennessee leads at 23-12 as we approach the 2:15 mark of the opening half. Massengale, nice pass to Jones. Didn't look like she was really ready, but then nobody came to challenge.
Well, Jones is such an effective player when they put her down there in the paint. She's very good around the basket, but they need her on the outside for some defensive presence. Such a great athlete.
Thompson, three-pointer on the way. Maybe that'll get her going right over the top of Burdick.
You know, with all these outside shots that Stanford's shooting, you have to believe that they're going to find their rhythm within it. And that's where Tennessee has to be real careful to not give up uncontested looks.
Step back jump shot, and Middleton got away with a push that time against Stanford, and it'll give Tennessee another possession and a fresh shot clock. Inside to Burdick, working against Johnson. Double team comes, dribbles out of it, and wide open underneath. Beautiful, unselfish play. Jordan Reynolds with a layup.
Well, great vision by Sierra. Burdick just got behind. Reynolds got behind the Stanford defender, wide open under the basket.
The lead is 13. 1:05 remaining in the opening half here in Knoxville. Good backdoor cut, and an offensive foul is going to be called against Stanford. And yet another turnover. That is number 11, and the foul goes against McCall.
See great patience by Sierra Burdick and the dribble out of the double team, and Jordan Reynolds wide open under the basket.
It was Erica Payne who picked up the personal foul. She heads to the sideline, and Kylie Johnson, wearing number 32 in Cardinal, comes back on. Tennessee has played a superb first half, particularly at the defensive end, and they want to finish strong what they started strong. Middleton, step back jumper, misses everything. So after going 4 for 4 against Wichita State on Tuesday night, coming out with a cold hand so far. Stanford try to go 2 for 1. Really lacking points here. See if they go quickly and get another, try to get another possession. Doesn't look like they're going to go fast. Thompson finds a little bit of a crease down inside, draws the contact, gets to the rim, knocked to the floor, and she'll get a couple of free throws out of it.
You know, such a typical young defensive mistake, but all you had to do was hold your ground right there. Make the offensive player just shoot over you, but to jump on that play right there, you know that's going to be a foul. Lily Thompson went hard to the ball, hard to the basket to get that opportunity to get to the free throw line.
Want to remind you tonight the SEC ESPN Network brings you a college basketball doubleheader. Bruce Pearl's Auburn Tigers tip off tonight as they host Xavier at 6 p.m. Then the Arkansas Razorbacks welcome Southeast Missouri State to the Bud Walton Arena live at 8:30 p.m. only on the SEC ESPN Network, and watch ESPN. And back to the careless foul, if you will, Nell, because Stanford obviously has really been struggling, as is Lily Thompson and Amber Orange, but you see some free throws go through the end of the half. All of a sudden, it really helps you find your rhythm and range.
Well, all you want right now, if you're Tara Vanderveer, is you want to get some confidence going into the halftime. Just give your team that confidence, that ability to know that we can score against Tennessee, we can attack Tennessee, and that's what's happening for Lily Thompson right now.
There was a double violation on the first free throw, so we'll try this all again. Lily Thompson, 5'7" sophomore out of Mansfield, Texas. Free throw is good. And Tennessee, the Lady Vols, with all kinds of time. And quickly into the front court, and Holly Warlick will call a timeout. Make sure Tennessee at 8-2 gets a quality possession to finish off this opening half. They led it 8-0, 15-7, 23-10, and has been all the Vols, headed up by their defense.
Well, there's no doubt defense has been the star for Tennessee today. Battling on the boards, but all over this Stanford offense, not allowing anything easy, nothing getting inside for the Stanford Cardinal. Everything having to be more of a force shot or a really long-range shot for Stanford, and that's a tough way to have to battle a team of such size as Tennessee.
Well, Stanford in particular, inefficient at the offensive end, 5 of 19. They've been hampered by turnovers, very careless there. As far as the Tennessee Lady Vols, boy, the way their defense has been playing, I mean, if you're Tennessee, you might want to feel a little greedy. You're up 27-15. It could be and should be, if they have executed at the offensive end, much more than that. And they will try to have a quality possession here to close out the half. Leading at 27-15. Kick outside to Nard. Early three-pointer and another air ball. So the last two possessions, an air ball by Middleton and now by the freshman Nard. And Stanford, they got time.
We know really not a good shot for Tennessee, because you want to take that shot clock all the way down. You don't even have to give Stanford another possession before the half. And when you have Stanford with the ability to knock down threes, you don't want them to get on a roll.
High screen. Here comes Orange down the lane. Misses that. Battle for the rebound. Comes out to Orange. And she had a look at it. Had just enough time to get off that final shot. And the teams will head to the locker rooms with the Tennessee Lady Vols leading the Stanford Cardinal in the 32nd meeting of this storied rivalry. 27-15.
Well, defense is definitely the calling card for Tennessee right now, but I also like the way they're sharing the ball. They've got 9 assists on 12 field goals, and that speaks well for what they're doing offensively.
Let's send it over to the sideline now. Steffi is with Tennessee's head coach, Holly Warlick.
Coach, you hold Stanford to 15 points. What was the key behind your team's success on the defensive side of the ball?
Well, we got down and played defense. We hunkered down, got in a stance, made them shoot plays over us. Then we started switching all the ball screens. I thought they were hurting us a little bit on the ball screens. But we played hard. We played with effort and high energy, and when you do that, great things will happen.
Now, offensively, Izzy Harrison not really contributing that much. Other players stepping up. How do you assess their play so far?
Well, I think they're doubling down and tripling down on her, and she's not getting some clean looks. And so we're trying to move the ball, get open looks. Izzy just needs to pass out and repost and get the opportunity for more looks and get on the boards. But she'll get there.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Paul, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Very solid half, particularly once again at the defensive end. Our score at the break, Tennessee 27, Stanford 15. Let's send you to Peter Burns, Tony Delk, and Dane Bradshaw in the studio for the SEC Network Halftime Report.
Not a bad start for Holly Warlick and the Lady Vols, and it was a big game. Welcome to the SEC Halftime Report. I am Peter Burns. A game so big we had to bring in 2 of our analysts for it. Tony Delk, Dane Bradshaw. Tony, how about the Lady Vols here in the first half?
I'm really impressed by how they've been playing defense, being able to guard and switch to pick and rolls. When you have versatile players that can switch off opposition, that's what Tennessee has been showing. And right now, like I said, they forced 22 turnovers. They're at 11 right now, so that defense really has ignited their offense some.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to have to stay and continue to do, Tony, because coming into the game, the last 2 games, they were 2 for 17 from 3, 1 for 10 for tonight. So if you're Stanford, you can feel good about your chances if you can get something going offensively, because Tennessee isn't going to run the score up on you. But right now, Tennessee's doing a great job defending, they're out rebounding, and they've limited their turnovers to only 5 so far this game.
11th in the nation in scoring defense are the Tennessee Vols, only giving up 51 points a game, and so far so good. But Dane, how about offensively? What do you like about the Vols right now?
Well, they're sharing the ball. They've got 9 assists on 12 baskets. So that means they're trying to take good shots. But we saw at the end of the first half, an air ball three, sometimes there's a reason why you're open. Tennessee 1 for 10 so far in this game. They need to try to sit there and think, we got to get the ball inside and not let Stanford force us to shoot on the perimeter, because they're getting some good looks on the inside off penetration, dishes to the big men, big women, and so they're knocking those down. But three-pointers, that's got to be a plan C or D for them.
All right, so let's get in. That's a heck of a start. We've got a couple other ladies hoop squads in action, so let's get you caught up in there. Terry Williams, Fauntleroy, and Auburn taking on St. John's in the St. John's Hartwell's Holiday Classic. Second half, Auburn down 6. Tracy Carter gets the ball in the post, misses the first shot, fights for the board, and gets the putback. Auburn down 4, trying to make it a game. Later in the half, Auburn down 10. Off the inbounds, Sina Muhammad hits the jumper. Got it down, but they would fall to St. John's 56-49. When you start looking at what's going on with this Auburn squad and just ladies hoops in general right now, where's the cream of the crop when you're talking about the whole conference?
When you talk about the whole conference, we're talking about Texas A&M, and you also have to mention #1 team, South Carolina. They're so good at guarding. They have special players, and when you can stop people on defense, and that ignites your offense. And I think it's so important to guard the ball in the half court, be able to get turnovers, and then go down and make shots. And for a coach, if you can get turnovers, that's the easiest offense that you can run.
Going to get another team that was in action. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Rebels. They were playing Alabama A&M, and we'll get that highlight going for you. Matt Insell and Ole Miss taking on Alabama A&M. They're 0-9. Early first half, Ole Miss up 14. Tia Faleru gets the ball in the post, hits the layup. Ole Miss up 25-9. Late in the half, Ole Miss up 12. Faleru hits the layup, gets fouled, and she hits the and one. Ole Miss up 30-15. Later in that half, Ole Miss up 17. Shaquila Joseph from the wing. They're rolling. Ole Miss up 41-24. It has been a good first half for the Lady Vols. Even though they allowed that 3 to go down, Stanford finds itself down 12 in Knoxville at half.
Away. Away is the smell of victory. And the smell of burgers. Away is always having home field advantage, even when you're miles away from home. Find your away. For a dealer in the RV that's right for you, visit GoRVing.com.
Gary, help me!
No! My Uma!
No! Uma is how I make crystal clear nationwide phone calls for free.
Not a toy.
Uma connects to my internet and my home phone. Voicemail, call waiting.
Thanks, Gary. Whew. Gary, no.
Bad dog.
Crystal clear nationwide calling for free. Uma, the smartphone for your home.
The energy at Tennessee reaches far beyond our campus. As Lady Vol and academic All-American, Candace Parker set new standards. Now she electrifies fans in L.A. Keeping the lights on there and across the country is the work of Professor Elu Liu. Her research on the power grid puts UT at the forefront of this national issue. Candace Parker and Elu Liu, 2 exceptional women. Both chose Tennessee. Big Orange, big ideas.
What does your business need?
We needed a custom logo, and we found it on Fiverr for just $5.
I needed to drive traffic to my website. Now, I can't keep up with the orders.
Give your business the boost it needs. At Fiverr.com, you'll find exactly what you're looking for, all starting at just $5.
We needed a press release for our new game fast. We found it on Fiverr.
Join the millions of successful people that are using Fiverr to get things done. Sign up today for free at Fiverr.com.
Is bad credit keeping you from getting a new car? Listen to this important message. 1 out of every 3 Americans needs a new car but can't buy one due to bad credit. Sound like you? Now you can. You can get a $10,000, $15,000, or $25,000 or more car loan through CreditYes.com. Our team of industry experts has helped over 1 million people get the car they need and deserve. Simply go to CreditYes.com or call 1-800-CREDIT-YES. It's fast, easy, and the call is absolutely free. Click or call right now. When you think credit, think yes. Think CreditYes.com.
A lot of history between these two teams, Texas A&M and Texas. One thing Texas does pretty well is what A&M does pretty well. Transition offense, guarding it. Longhorns have been the best transition defense in the country, allowing only half a point per play in transition. Texas looking for its 3rd win against a top team this season. Longhorns defeated Stanford and Tennessee earlier this year. Let's give you a little preview of this matchup.
Texas versus A&M. You know, it's one of the best rivals in the nation, and it got stopped because the conference changed. So now when it happens, you know, it's not like, oh, next year we're gonna get them back. No, it's a rivalry where you know when you're gonna play again. So it's almost, you know, do or die right now.
Players want to play against each other, coaches want to play against each other, and fans want to see it. From former Longhorns to former Aggies, it's just been a great rivalry over the years.
I think the rivalry will always be there, but I do think that being in different leagues and most of all for both of our teams, the fact that we're prepping really to get ready for our league play, it's just a competitive game that we're looking forward to.
Us being number 3, they're ranked number 4. That alone, you know it's going to be very competitive out there on the floor, and so just us being Texas, them being A&M, that just even adds to that. Both teams, we play really hard, so I think it's going to be a really fun game to watch.
Really good game to watch. Aggies, Texas, of course, that game tips off at 1:30. Then after that, Oklahoma taking on the Arkansas Razorbacks out in Fayetteville. That tips off at 4 p.m. Sunday right here on SEC ESPN Network. Bashara Graves, she shot it 6 times. She said, hey, you know what? I'll make 4 of them. She's got 8 points at half. They're up by 12 at half.
Santa baby, just slip a sable under the tree for me. I've been an angel all year, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. So hurry down the chimney tonight. So hurry down the chimney tonight.
Belk, official retail department store of the SEC.
At Regions Bank, we're here to help you move your life forward. But managing money correctly can be tough, especially for college students. That's why we sometimes bring in some extra help.
Young lady, you are way too smart to hit that order button. $750 on a dress that'll be out of style by next week? And what, you might wear it 2, 3 times tops?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I probably am right.
Regions, official bank of the SEC.
Does your car suffer from cataracts? You heard right, cataracts. You know, those aging, foggy headlights. Well, we have the cure. White new Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in seconds and guaranteed to pass inspection as long as you own your car or truck. We detailed this old Mercedes. It looks fantastic, except for those foggy, ugly headlights. Now watch White new Headlight Restore do its job.
It's so easy to use, and it looks amazing.
So before you go and spend hundreds on replacement lights, protect your lenses for life. Order White new Headlight Restore for just $9.99. Call right now and we'll double your order. That's 2, 1 for each car. You get 2 White new Headlight Restore kits for just $9.99. Call now. White new, keeping your world like new.
Easy to use, White new Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in just seconds. The last time you'll have to restore your headlights. Call 1-800-959-4013. Order now.
Here at Stanford University, what you see on the field is only part of the story. We push for excellence. We seek knowledge. We contribute, and we do new things. It's a proud legacy built on commitment, persistence, in the classroom, on the field, where people of every background and aspiration come together to grow, to create, to lead, and where victory is measured not just on the scoreboard, but in yourself.
All right, let's get you caught up on some of the other lady squads in action. Of course, we saw St. John stay undefeated. Close victory against the Auburn Tigers. Ole Miss having no problem with Alabama A&M. And number 1 ranked South Carolina continues to roll. That's the Chippewas, the Central of Michigan, 37-24. Sierra Burdick, well, nails the jumper. She's got 4 at half. Tennessee up 12 at half versus Stanford.
This is Bob. Bob's on a first date, so he's not thinking about where to buy his next set of tires. But if he were, all he'd need to know is TireRack.com. They stock over 1 million tires and can have yours shipped to a trusted, independent, recommended installer in as little as 1 business day. But Bob's not thinking about tires. Bob's thinking, should I tell her about that thing in her teeth? TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
You're here to buy a car. What would help is simply being able to recognize a fair price. That's never really been possible. But along comes a radically new way to buy a car called TrueCar. And now it is. TrueCar has pricing data on every make and model. So all you have to do is search for the car you want. There it is. Now you're an expert in less than a minute. This is how car buying was always meant to be. This is TrueCar.
What do you call a renowned researcher on obesity, hypertension, and heart disease who teaches the next generation of leading scientists? We call him a difference maker. Meet Ole Miss professor John Hall, a difference maker named the 2014 SEC Professor of the Year. The Southeastern Conference actively supports the university mission through its SECU program, which highlights collaboration in scholarship and research. SECU, the academic initiative of the Southeastern Conference.
When a small business needs to secure financing to do things like buy new equipment, purchase inventory, or hire more employees, they turn to OnDeck, the small business loan experts. OnDeck has provided over $1 billion in true business loans to more than 700 industries. Unlike traditional lenders, OnDeck says yes faster and more often. Maybe that's why 93% of our customers said they would recommend us, and why OnDeck has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Go online now to find out how we can take your business to the next level. Why is OnDeck a better choice for small businesses? We evaluate the health of your business, not just your personal credit score. With OnDeck, you can receive a decision in minutes, not months. And best of all, funding in as fast as 1 business day. At OnDeck, we actually want to lend to small business. How can we help your small business? Go to OnDeck.com and find out. There's no obligation, and you can receive a decision in minutes. Visit us online at OnDeck.com today.
Stanford and Tennessee back out on the floor. Tennessee on top, 27-15. Quickly over to the sideline. Our Steffi Sorensen is with Stanford's Tara Vanderveer.
Thank you, Paul. Coach, how do you limit turnovers in this second half?
Well, we have to set, I guess, legal screens. I thought they looked pretty good, but, you know, we need to take care of the ball. I think people are playing rushed. We need to get better shots, obviously, but just relax and play basketball.
Speaking of offense, what do you have to do differently to get yourself back in this game?
We have to play offense. You know, we've got people rushing shots, not taking shots that are good shots. And personally, I think it's much too physical. So, you know, we have to really, you know, do a better job of dealing with the physicality.
Thank you, Coach. Paul.
Well, Hall of Famer Tara Vanderveer has been here before with Nell Fortner. I'm Paul Sunderland. Thoughts on the first half? We've mentioned it again, defense, defense, defense. But Stanford's got to find some offense somewhere.
Well, they do. Without having a dominant post presence, they've got to be able to knock down shots from the perimeter, and they're not able to find that rhythm right now. So outside shots for Stanford at a premium. Those things have to drop to give your offense some lift. 24% from Stanford right now from the outside, and it's just everything comes as a struggle. Trying to get over the length of this switching Tennessee defense has been very tough for the Cardinal today.
Maybe the best thing you can say about the Stanford Cardinal through the first 20 minutes is that they're only down by 12. If Tennessee had executed over the last 7 or 8 minutes of that first half, they could easily, the Lady Vols could easily be up by 20 or more. They come out of the locker room and immediately turn it over for the 6th time on a traveling violation called against starting point guard Jordan Reynolds.
Really kind of an odd call to start the half. You got a little backcourt call right there. Or my bad, traveling call right there.
Thompson looking down inside, and still nothing there. The post players for Stanford have been inefficient and ineffectual. Here comes Orange on the tough runner, not there. Rebound taken in traffic by number 11, Sierra Burdick. Remember, she had 17 against Wichita State on Tuesday night, a new career high. Harrison into the low post, step back, not there. Long rebound taken by number 24, Erica McCall.
You know, on the last possession for Stanford, again, they're getting the penetration, but they can't finish at the basket. There's still great length in there to try to shoot over.
Thompson picked up on the switch, now down inside to Johnson, right at the front of the rim. Battle for the rebound. Harrison comes away with it again.
And that's where another shot at the rim, but so contested, so hard, no finish by Kaylee Johnson.
Bashara Graves got the Tennessee Lady Vols off to a wonderful start, had 8 quick points. If you're just joining us, Tennessee led Stanford 8-0, then Stanford came back with a 7-0 run of their own. Tennessee answered, they led it 15-7 and extended that lead to 23-10, and now where we are, just coming out of the locker room at 27-15.
Jasmine Jones does a good job of putting the ball on the floor, drawing the foul right here. Stanford has to be careful not to put too much pressure on Tennessee, getting them to the line too early in the second half.
Burdick misses everything, so that's 3 straight air balls. Talk about Tennessee struggling at the offensive end. Nard with the air ball, and again Alexa Middleton taking an ill-advised 3, and then Burdick not touching iron as well. So both teams have really cool. Orange around a screen and a touch foul down inside, and we have got Holly Warlick wired up and ready to go here this afternoon.
I love that right there. Your little hesitation to go to the basket. I love that. Way to be, Dre. Atta baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Orange down the lane and cannot finish.
That's 3 attempts right there by Stanford at the basket that cannot be finished. And again, just the pressure of the defense a little too much.
And maybe looking to see where Bashara Graves or Isabel Harrison is as a shot blocker coming off the weak side. Stanford has had opportunities. Inside to Harrison, the ball immediately stolen away by Thompson. 7th turnover for the Cardinal.
Great defensive play by Lily Thompson. It needs to be turned into some points right here.
That off the front of the iron. Offensive rebound taken, and that'll be off of Tennessee and out of bounds. Stanford will have it once again. Neither team has scored here so far in the second half. 32nd meeting all time between Stanford and Tennessee. They played for the 2008 National Championship, and the Lady Vols came out on top in that one.
You know, when you go back to the UConn win that Stanford had earlier this season, when UConn went to Maples Pavilion, it's like they're shooting so much more confidently at home. They were 7 of 14 from the 3-point. Amber Orange hits a huge 3 to take the game into overtime, and it's just the difference the road makes on an offense for the traveling team.
Kayla Johnson putting it in her contact lens. Got to get it right. Somebody got to make a shot. There is the series history. Tennessee leads all time 22-9, but Stanford has won 3 straight and 4 out of the last 5, and 11-2 here in Knoxville. Tara Vanderveer has played in this game so many times now in her 29th season. They play this game every year, and they've often played more than once because they've done so well in the NCAA tournament. Graves down inside, has the shot rejected. Number 5, Massengale on at the point now, replacing Reynolds for Tennessee. And missing the ball and dribbling it out of bounds. Another turnover. Crowd still on their feet. here at Thompson Bowling, and it's the tradition of the Tennessee Lady Vols fans to stay on their feet until the home team scores. They've been up there for a while. We're almost 3 minutes in. Orange again, mid-range floater off the side of the iron. Tough rebound taken by Harrison. And speaking of physical play, Harrison throws the ball back on the floor, and McCall lays it back up and in for Stanford.
Well, the first score for a post player for Stanford in this game. Eric McCall gets the offensive rebound, and Stanford can use a few more of those O-boards.
Straight away, 18-footer right through the bottom for Isabel Harrison after Tennessee. 3 turnovers their first 3 possessions, and everybody can finally settle in a little more comfortably.
Well, that's a spot that the Stanford defense has been vulnerable at in that 15 to 18-foot range for these Lady Vol post players.
Tara Vanderveer told me about the new role for her bigs. She said if they're not screening, if they're not rebounding, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing in terms of activity. And Lily Thompson with a pull-up jump shot, her 3rd make.
It puts a lot of pressure on an offense when your post players aren't options for you down on the block for those high percentage shots. It's a lot of pressure on the perimeter shooters.
Shot clock at 10, outside to Burdick, inside to Harrison once again. Nice entry pass, and Harrison kept the ball very high for the make.
She does a great job of lifting the ball and then finishing up high. And you said it earlier, she has a feathery touch. And that's such a nice option to have to move her away from the basket and get that perimeter shot from her.
Harrison now with half a dozen has been very unselfish, facing double and triple teams throughout the course of the first half. What do you think about Tara Vanderveer's comments about the game being too physical?
Well, I think anytime you're trying to score off of penetration all the time, you're going to get bumps and hits. So obviously, yes, it would be more physical for them. And Harrison right here going off the floor, but she is such a nice shooter from the perimeter. And she's having to take those shots today because they're getting her double downtown.
Before you walk through this door, other doors have already been opened. All thanks to our network of dedicated mortgage professionals and industry partners, ready to lend a hand, securing resources, and taking care of details. So the moment you arrive at your new house, it's ready to become your new home. Franklin American Mortgage. It all begins with home.
I've always seen No-No on TV, and I always wondered if it worked. And it definitely, I can see what everybody talks about now.
It's not a razor. It's not a laser. It's No-No from Radiancy. No-No gives you no hair with no pain.
There's absolutely no pain.
Can't believe the difference, Al. It's almost hair-free.
And now, No-No is better than ever. Introducing the new No-No Pro. It's up to 35% more powerful. Imagine never having to shave again.
I like a close shave. Absolutely. And this is better than that. I mean, it's gone.
And there's a No-No for him too.
It looks like just like you've got a fresh wax, but like you don't have to go through all the pain.
Call now and we'll send you everything you need to get rid of your unwanted hair. Try No-No for 60 days. If you don't love it, return it, and we'll refund the purchase price, refund the shipping, and even pay the return postage. Try No-No risk-free today.
For decade after decade, it was the one and only Pat Summitt, the head coach here at the University of Tennessee from 1974 until 2012. And this building is quite now simply called Inside the Summit. And there is the Hall of Famer, the winningest coach of all time in women's college basketball, and led the ladies Vols to 8 NCAA championships. I know that she is a special friend of all of college basketball and of you as well, Nell.
Well, absolutely. I went over and spoke to her at halftime. She was eating a big old ice cream cone. I said, come on, let me have some. And she offered me some. She's nice like that.
It was as cold as the shooting was in the latter stages of the opening half. Sylvia Hatchell, C. Vivian Stringer saw her most recently in the matchup between the Tennessee Lady Vols as well as down at Rutgers. And The Olympic Games are certainly a theme here. Started out by the legendary Pat Summitt, a gold medal in '84, followed up by Tara Vanderveer 12 years later in Atlanta. And then my partner Nell Fortner brought home the gold down at the beautiful Olympic Games in Sydney, Australia. Quite an honor. The Olympic Games, obviously something very, very, very special indeed. And the United States women, just like the United States men, save for a glitch now and then, have absolutely dominated Olympic basketball competition.
Well, the Olympics are truly an honor to be a part of, and to win that gold medal, it's a memory I'll have for the rest of my life.
Thompson with it, looking for somewhere to go. That ball deflected out of bounds, and Tennessee, with their length, continues to do an outstanding job defending on the perimeter as well as shutting off the inside in the paint. Stanford to inbound, 14:50 remaining in this one, 11 to shoot. Orange has been very quiet, as has Lily Thompson. Orange trying to find something along the baseline and will draw the personal foul. That will go against Harrison. Let's check her, and it is Isabel Harrison's second personal foul, second team foul for Tennessee.
You know, Stanford really trying to force the action right now. Get some calls, get the officials to blow that whistle, in which they are against this penetration.
It's a 12-point game, exactly where we stood at halftime. Thompson steps back and buries that right over Graves.
Well, we were talking at halftime about it felt like if Stanford could just find their groove offensively with their shooting touch, that this could turn into a really tough ball game. And you feel like Stanford's about to get on that path.
Thompson now in double figures with 10 after a very slow start. Massengale off the left wing, answers for Tennessee.
Well, the Lady Vols, best three-point shooter right there, and you don't want to give her any open looks if you're Stanford.
Johnson wanted it down in the lane. Stanford making an effort to try to get the ball down inside. Shot off the back of the iron by Greenfield, and a foul is going to be called against Tennessee.
We're going to see Ariel Massengale get open for a three right here, which one of the game plans for Stanford was not let her see any open green space, and she's seeing it right there. You've got to get your hand up and contest that shot.
Talk about an outstanding three-point shooter. Ariel Massengale now 19 of 42 so far on the season. Stanford having trouble getting the ball in. Mismatch on the inside if they can get the ball to McCall. Thompson shakes with some space, needs a bounce, not there. Tip, offensive rebound taken by Johnson, and throws up a 5-foot air ball. Came up about a foot short. Here comes Massengale again, forcing things that time against Orange, and we'll get to the free throw line to shoot a pair.
Well, and just one of the struggles that Stanford has had this year is post players not being able to finish around the basket. And if they ever needed that to happen, they need it right now, just to, again, help this offense, put some pressure on the Tennessee defense inside.
Stanford currently 8 of 33 after shooting just under 24% in the opening half. First free throw up and good. Massengale now with 8. That was the first personal foul on Amber Orange. Outstanding point guard for the Stanford Cardinal the last 2 seasons. First team all Pac-12, and speaking of last season, Stanford was 33-4, their 7th straight 30-plus win season. They lost to UConn in the national semifinals. Stanford has been to the national semifinals 6 of the last 7 years. Biggest lead now for Tennessee at 14, 36-22. Thompson on the crossover dribble into the corner. Looking to get the ball down inside, deflected by Graves, and turnover's a huge problem for Stanford in the first half. They cleaned it up a little bit. Now it is the Lady Vols who turn it over. Here comes Iran.
Well, that's 6 turnovers for Tennessee right there, and that's a problem. They don't need to have those type of situations and let Stanford get easy baskets on the other end.
Number 41, Bonnie Samuelson on the quick three-pointer. Right off the front of the iron, and trying to answer once again, and then some. Thompson just went down, and Ariel Massengale with a couple of big threes, now leading Tennessee with a dozen points. And the lead is 17. Orange turning the corner, trying to find some space. Another three-pointer on the way, not there. And Burdick easily takes the rebound. Kick ahead to Graves. Good job by Bashara Graves. Post player for Tennessee, running from rim to rim, and a look back at Massengale once again.
Well, this is the Ariel Massengale we were used to seeing before she went down with a concussion last season. She pushes the ball in transition. She shoots the three. She really has been the leader of this team at that point guard spot. Until last season, that concussion kept her out the last 16 games. But she's back, rounding out, back into the form we're used to seeing.
Andrea Carter on the floor now, number 14 in white, applying some pressure to Orange. And a timeout is called by Tara Vanderveer. Seemed to have sorted things out a little bit at the start of this second half, but then once again, Tennessee putting on the clamps.
Does your car suffer from cataracts? You heard right, cataracts. You know, those aging, foggy headlights. Well, we have the cure. White new Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in seconds and guaranteed to pass inspection as long as you own your car or truck. We detailed this old Mercedes. It looks fantastic, except for those foggy, ugly headlights. Now watch White new Headlight Restore do its job.
It's so easy to use, and it looks amazing.
So before you go and spend hundreds on replacement lights, protect your lenses for life. Order White new Headlight Restore for just $9.99. Go right now and we'll double your order. That's two, one for each car. You get 2 White new Headlight Restore kits for just $9.99. Call now. White new, keeping your world like new.
Easy to use, White new Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in just seconds. The last time you'll have to restore your headlights. Call 1-800-959-4013. Order now.
Gary, help me!
No! My Uma! No! Uma is how I make crystal clear nationwide phone calls for free.
Not a toy.
Uma connects to my internet and my home phone. Voicemail, call waiting.
Thanks, Gary. Whew. Gary, no.
Bad dog.
Crystal clear nationwide calling for free. Uma, the smartphone for your home.
Texas and Texas A&M going to get it on in the basketball court, and no matter the sport, it is a heated rivalry between the Longhorns and the Aggies. Make no mistake about that. That game coming up tomorrow on the SEC Network. Both outstanding basketball teams ranked in the top 5. And speaking of that, Sunday, the SEC ESPN Network brings you the SEC Women's College Basketball SEC Big 12 Challenge. The 4th-ranked Texas A&M Aggies face the 3rd-ranked Texas Longhorns at 1:30 in a battle for the Lone Star State. Then it's the Arkansas Razorbacks and Oklahoma Sooners at 3:30 p.m. A look at the AP rankings. South Carolina, UConn, after an early season loss to Stanford, back up to number 2. There is Texas and Texas A&M. Notre Dame only 1 loss to UConn. And North Carolina beat Stanford, but then lost recently to another team off the West Coast, Oregon State. And they might be in the top 10 pretty soon. They are one of the biggest surprises so far on the season. Stanford at 7, followed by the SEC's Kentucky, Baylor, and then Louisville. Jasmine Jones is being helped to the sideline. Some contact again. Remember, missed 3 games consecutively earlier on in the season with a concussion. Took some contact in the game at Rutgers and was held out of Tuesday's game. And then again, a little bit of contact here, and Jasmine Jones will be helped to the locker room. And looking like she needs some assistance.
Well, it looked like she was almost going to faint, so they caught her before she went down, but they'll check her out in the locker room. Hopefully she'll be back. So
Stanford, we were talking about creating a scenario we could get back in this game, and we'll get back to that in a moment. Here comes Burdick right down the lane, misses that. Long rebound taken by Reynolds, and she'll reset.
Well, the turnovers are just really have been just tough for Stanford, and Tennessee able to turn them into points.
Massengale, jab step, feeling it. Long rebound is tracked down by Nard.
Second chance opportunities for Tennessee have been far greater than Stanford today, and it's tough to deal with that on an opponent's home court.
12 offensive rebounds for Tennessee, but have not done much with those opportunities. Only 6 second chance points. Nard down inside, skip pass to Reynolds, looking for a three. That'll be off the side of the iron. Another offensive rebound blocked from behind. But Burdick, who's just been everywhere on the backboards, will shoot a couple of free throws when we come back to Knoxville, with the Lady Vols leading Stanford by 17.
You're here to buy a car. What would help is simply being able to recognize a fair price. That's never really been possible. But along comes a radically new way to buy a car called TrueCar. And now it is. TrueCar has pricing data on every make and model. So all you have to do is search for the car you want. There it is. Now you're an expert in less than a minute. This is how car buying was always meant to be. This is TrueCar.
When a small business needs to secure financing to do things like buy new equipment, purchase inventory, or hire more employees, they turn to OnDeck, the small business loan experts. OnDeck has provided over $1 billion in true business loans to more than 700 industries. Unlike traditional lenders, OnDeck says yes faster and more often. Maybe that's why 93% of our customers said they would recommend us, and why OnDeck has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Go online now to find out how we can take your business to the next level. Why is OnDeck a better choice for small businesses? We evaluate the health of your business, not just your personal credit score. With OnDeck, you can receive a decision in minutes, not months. And best of all, funding in as fast as 1 business day. At OnDeck, we actually want to lend to small business. How can we help your small business? Go to ondeck.com and find out. There's no obligation, and you can receive a decision in minutes. Visit us online at ondeck.com today.
The Stanford Cardinal continue to be absolutely frustrated at their offensive end. Nell Fortner shooting just 23%, 24% in the first half, and they just can't get anything going against this long and athletic Tennessee Lady Vols basketball team.
Well, and it started from the very beginning of the game. Nothing came easy for this offense, so there was nothing to build upon. There was no confidence given to any of the players on the floor, and it's just kind of multiplied as now we're getting deep into the second half.
We saw Jasmine Jones again, number 2, the 6'2" junior out of Alabama, leave the floor. As soon as we get a report, we'll get some definitive information about her health status. And a couple of free throws coming to Burdick, who's again been all over the backboard. That's up and good. Burdick now with 5 points, coming off a double-double, 10 points, 17 rebounds, a career high against Wichita State. Narrow victory for Tennessee, 54-51. And Nell Fortner, you said at the break that this is the best Tennessee has looked so far this season. I think you were talking about their defensive pressure and defensive ability so far through the first 26, 28 minutes.
Yeah, the defense has just created havoc for Stanford. With the ability to switch and keep long and lengthy players on the ball has been a real problem for Stanford.
And as evidenced by that, Stanford just turned it over for the 16th time with 11:09 remaining.
Well, this is a great example of just speed and quickness between Andrea Carter and Jordan Reynolds. Active hands, turnover.
Stanford averages 13 turnovers on the season. Burdick spins inside, splits a couple of defenders, and the ball deflected out of bounds. And Tennessee will earn, or Burdick will earn, another possession for the Lady Vols.
Well, those are shots that Sierra Burdick needs to finish. She got the ball to the rim. She's got to get in there and finish that, draw the and one.
Burdick again surveying the floor outside to Carter. Carter driving the baseline off the back of the iron, lost control of that, and here comes the Cardinal. Orange quickly on the dribble, a nice play by Reynolds with a steal. Now Reynolds out of the backcourt, will step inside, off the backboard, not there. Long rebound taken by Andrea Carter. Look out. And Reynolds and the Lady Vols will reset.
But those are offensive opportunities for Tennessee that you want to see them finish. You create a turnover. You want to get down there and make sure you score and get yourself to the free throw line. So really Tennessee not able to take advantage of turnovers that they're forcing on the Stanford Cardinal.
That ball rims in and out by Burdick. Here's Thompson down the lane. A little bit of a touch foul by Nard on the perimeter. 4th team foul against the Lady Vols. Still no free throws coming to the Cardinal.
Again, all of the offense for Stanford having to come off the bounce, trying to get to the hole, trying to create foul situations. Nothing easy for Stanford.
Brianna Roberson on now for the first time. Did make a 3 in the opening half, and Stanford needs offense. Looking inside to Johnson, guarded by Sierra Burdick. Spins baseline. The freshman off the backboard, up and good. And those are the first post points for the Stanford Cardinal. Quickly at the other end, Massengale answers with a 3-pointer.
Have you noticed how Massengale this half has answered Stanford scoring, comes down, hits threes, really playing with great confidence right now.
Massengale now leading all scorers with 15, and a foul is going to be called against the Stanford Cardinal. That ball up off the bottom of the board, excuse me, and it will be Tennessee basketball. 9:23 remaining in this one. Tennessee ranked at number 11, Stanford at number 7. Tennessee led at 27-15 at the half, and now on top by 20.
I think for Tennessee, it's a great sign seeing Ariel Massengale getting back into a rhythm offensively. She's a senior. She's a true point guard, and they need her experience as you've got conference season coming up on you. They need her out front leading the way.
And once again, Ariel Massengale from downtown. 13-2 Tennessee run. And Stanford not calling a timeout. Bodies flying everywhere. Ball down inside. Roberson kicks the ball back outside to Samuelson. A quick 3-pointer on the way.
Well, Bonnie Samuelson definitely has the ability to get hot from that 3-point line. If she has the air, she needs to put it up right now.
To shoot, Massengale now on the switch, picked up by Greenfield, down inside, and off the back of the iron, Isabel Harrison. Offensively has had a pretty quiet afternoon, but I think she played a very good floor game, moving the basketball around out of the double teams. 3-pointer on the way again by Samuelson, and here comes Reynolds. Good kick inside. If you're unselfish, you give, you will get in return.
Well, no question, and Isabel Harrison runs the floor so well for Tennessee at 6'3". She really gets up and down the floor and got rewarded.
As mentioned, Harrison now with 8. She missed 5 games consecutively with a knee injury early, but game by game by game, the foundation of this Tennessee team, Isabel Harrison, is looking better and better.
Santa baby, just slip a sable under the tree for me. I've been an angel all year, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. So hurry down the chimney tonight. So hurry down the chimney tonight.
Belk, official retail department store of the SEC.
Tommy Copper has designed comfortable copper and zinc-infused compression gear that redefines muscle recovery and soreness relief for young and old.
It's not a matter of if you get hurt, it's a matter of when and how bad.
I've seen every kind of different injury there is. When I'm done riding bucking horses, my day job begins.
Every little positive increment you can get to make your body feel better counts.
Because of my sport, because it's so brutal, I wear compression all the time.
I really consider a Tommy Copper knee sleeve my security blanket.
Compression is a great way to relieve those everyday aches and pains.
From top athletes looking for another notch on their belt to everyday folks that can't call in sick with a sore knee, shoulder, wrist, foot, or elbow.
Doesn't matter if my feet ache. I need to show up every day.
no excuses.
That's how you stay on top. That's how you become a champion. That's how you put your name in the record books.
Tommy Copper's original 24-hour compression is designed to help harness the body's natural recovery.
You got to go to TommyCopper.com to get it.
All Tennessee, all afternoon long here in Knoxville. The Lady Vols on top 49-30. And a few moments ago, Jasmine Jones, a 6'2 junior, who has had some concussion symptoms, but this was earlier in the basketball game where she was obviously not feeling well and then needed some assistance leaving the floor. And our Steffi Sorensen has some more. Steffi?
Paul, and now the only thing I'm being told right now is that she's being evaluated based on a previous injury. They did take her back to the locker room. That's all I'm hearing right now. It was a very strange sequence. Looked like she was almost sick, but like I said, they just said she's just being evaluated right now for a previous injury. Back to you guys.
And we will leave it at that. You don't want to speculate on an injury, but it is not speculation that Jasmine Jones missed 3 consecutive games with a concussion and then was held out on Tuesday against Wichita State after a collision in a very physical Rutgers game a couple of days before. So we wish her well. And again, right now in the locker room, if you're wondering about number 2, Jasmine Jones for Tennessee, being evaluated by the medical staff. So back out on the floor, it will be Tennessee basketball, 7:49 remaining. And speaking of 49, a 49-30. Stanford has 30 points, and we have played all but 7 minutes and 45 seconds of this basketball game. A remarkable total, or lack thereof. Alexa Middleton back on after good shooting against Wichita State. Came up with a cold hand in the first half against Stanford. Nice spin inside using the offhand. Beautiful move by Harrison.
Well, Isabel Harrison showed us what she's capable of doing when she gets the ball on the block with no double team. She's got post moves, and that was a pretty one.
Another three-pointer buried. Bonnie Samuelson now with half a dozen, maybe a little bit too little, too late. Stanford could have used some of that in the first half when they were as cold as could be, shooting 24% and trailed 27-15.
Well, we haven't seen Stanford be able to put any run together. They'll get a nice shot, can't get the defensive stop, and come back down with a shot.
Nice two-woman game that time. Middleton finding Bashara Graves down inside for her 10th point. And Roberson off the side of the iron. But the question remains, why can't Stanford? We know that Tennessee has been superb at the defensive end. Isabel Harrison down on the floor will keep a very close eye. But why has Stanford struggled so mightily to put together any kind of run offensively?
Well, the tough thing offensively is every shot they're taking is either contested or it's just a tough shot. So it's hard to get any kind of offensive rhythm when you're not able to shoot in rhythm. And that's what the Tennessee pressure has taken away from Stanford's offense. No offensive rhythm shooting the ball or running an offense.
As evidenced by the Stanford Cardinal, just 12 of 42 on the afternoon. Stanford has shot the ball better from three-point range. Another look.
So Isabel Harrison comes over for the help right there and kind of tweaked that left ankle a little bit coming down on the foot of the Stanford player. So she'll take a little rest right here. Hopefully it's not too bad.
Is wearing ankle braces, and obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but I would assume that she is also taped underneath those braces. And again, after having missed 5 games, and the conference is coming, and this is the best conference in the country with South Carolina and Kentucky and Texas A&M. Remember, Texas A&M and Texas coming up tomorrow right here on the SEC Network.
Well, you want to be in full strength when you take on the SEC conference, and that's what Tennessee's trying to do right now. Today was actually the first day they've been all healthy and accounted for at the start of this game.
Backdoor cut that ball out of bounds. No reasons for that pass. Nia Moore, number 1 in white, 6'3" junior out of Chicago, in for the first time. But that's only the 8th turnover for Tennessee.
Well, they've done a great job taking care of the basketball, and that's allowed them to find a little bit of some offensive rhythm to feed off of that defense today.
Well, a lot of standing at the offensive end for the Stanford Cardinal. High screen, crossover dribble, and another turnover. Here comes Reynolds. 18th turnover for Stanford. Down inside, Nia Moore left all alone, and the lead now is 55-33, 5:50 remaining. How surprised are you by this result?
Well, I am surprised. I'm surprised at Stanford's inability to really get into an offensive rhythm. I know the defense has been tough, but everything for Stanford has to be off the bounce to get anything started. And that's difficult if you're going against such pressure the entire offensive set. It creates turnovers, which lead to fast break points for Tennessee. But, you know, Paul, if you have to start everything off of the bounce, that puts a lot of pressure on that ball handler.
Well, especially when you're getting no production from your post players at the offensive end. You're playing screen and roll, but you're getting nothing from the player who's rolling to the basket. As evidenced by this, Nia Moore coming out and putting on great ball pressure. Shot clock inside of 8. Amber Orange, I'll tell you, she's going to see Tennessee Lady Vols in her nightmares over the next 48 hours. Amber Orange has been absolutely swarmed on the perimeter by Tennessee. Let's go back down to the sideline now to Steffi. You've got more on Izzy Harrison.
Well, Izzy Harrison, just her left ankle. She's fine, and she's clear to go back in the game, guys.
All right, thank you very much. And good to see anytime you tweak a little ankle like that. It's the only, as I always say, the only minor injury is the one to somebody else. When it's your ankle, it's not so good. A very common injury, of course, in the game of basketball. And Harrison will be ready to get back in this game. I'm not sure we'll see her up by 22 with under 5.5 minutes remaining. Tennessee at 8-2, ranked number 11 in the country. Stanford came in at 6-3, and both of these teams, very surprisingly, lost to Chattanooga.
Chattanooga's tough on the home court. They've got great fans, and they shoot the ball well at home. It's hard to go on those floors and win with teams that just have everything to gain, and you have everything to lose.
Attack of the basket that time by Sierra Burdick. And speaking of Chattanooga, talk about some marquee wins. Let's see, what did you do for me lately? Let's see. Well, a couple of weeks ago, we beat Tennessee. And then a couple weeks later, we beat the 7th-ranked Stanford Cardinal. Not a bad resume early on in the season.
Well, it really isn't. And you talk about a boost to the program. Those kind of wins will really help your recruiting if you're at Chattanooga. And it makes the rest of the country open their eyes and go, hey, what's happening down there at UTC?
Stanford lost that game a couple of nights ago, 54-46, and much like this afternoon here in Knoxville, really having trouble from the floor, shooting just 28% in that basketball game. Burdick, another well-rounded game, both ends of the floor, defensively, rebounding both backboards, now with 7 and with 8 as both free throws are up and good. 5:01 remaining. All Tennessee. They led it 27-15 at the half. They came out of the locker room quickly up 39-22. And the lead has continued to expand. What separates the likes of Tennessee, who was picked 2nd in the preseason coaches poll, from the favorites going in and the #1 ranked team in the nation, South Carolina?
Well, I tell you, there's going to be a lot of athletes on the floor when those two match up. They both have tremendous athletes, the ability to score in many ways. You can pound it inside or you can hit it from the perimeter. So they're very similar in that sense. And they both are very good defensive teams. So that could be a very low-scoring game when that one comes upon us.
And we know, of course, Texas A&M is going to be a factor. Kentucky, Mississippi State has gotten off to a very good start, and Georgia is always good. Very, very good guard play down in Athens. Saw them earlier this year take out Michigan State, a very highly ranked team out of the Big Ten Conference. Offensive rebound and a fresh shot clock for Tennessee.
You know, conference season takes on a whole different level of intensity, and your fans are so much more involved when the conference season rolls around. It's a fun time of the year.
Middleton got in the air, and good play by Lily Thompson on the weak side, drawing the charge, and on the turnover, it'll be Stanford's basketball. First personal foul called against Alexa Middleton, and the 15th foul going against the Tennessee Lady Vols.
You know, right now I'm surprised Holly Warlick is substituting as much as she is when you see what's on the horizon with the SEC starting. You know, you're trying to really nail down who those top 8 to 10 players are. You know, and they haven't quite rounded out into that yet. And you need to use these opportunities, you know, or you're able to use these opportunities to continue to get that kind of rhythm. But getting a lot of players playing time. She's got a deep bench, so they are getting some valuable minutes now.
Coming up after this game against Stanford on December 28th, it'll be Oregon State again with a very notable victory over North Carolina. They'll be coming in next to take on the Lady Vols. Alex Green, 0-0 on the floor now for Stanford, and after the turnover, a foul goes against the Stanford Cardinal. 20 turnovers for Stanford have told the story. Tennessee up big over Stanford.
Game day brings out the best in all of us. At Regions, every day is game day.
Does your car suffer from cataracts? You heard right, cataracts. You know, those aging, foggy headlights. Well, we have the cure. White new Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in seconds and guaranteed to pass inspection as long as you own your car or truck. We detailed this old Mercedes. It looks fantastic, except for those foggy, ugly headlights. Now watch White new Headlight Restore do its job.
It's so easy to use, and it looks amazing.
So before you go and spend hundreds on replacement lights, protect your lenses for life. Order White new Headlight Restore for just $9.99. Call right now and we'll double your order. That's two, one for each car. You get 2 White new Headlight Restore kits for just $9.99. Call now. White new, keeping your world like new.
Easy to use, White new Headlight Restore. Crystal clear headlights in just seconds. The last time you'll have to restore your headlights. Call 1-800-959-4013. Order now.
Hey, I don't care. That's the way to attack. I love how you're attacking. I love it.
And a coach certainly likes it more when Ariel Massengale comes in and puts up 18 points, 5 of 10 shooting overall, 4 of 8 from behind the arc, and really blew this game open to start the second half.
Well, we're seeing Ariel Massengale, the coveted guard out of high school, that all of her potential. She's a phenomenal three-point shooter, but she's also a leader on this floor. So she's been coming off the bench and giving great production and energy off the bench and big-time scoring.
You know, we're having an interesting conversation during the commercial break, and you're not real favorable right now of Tennessee playing a lot of their backups because their continuity, they haven't had much chance to really develop that through the course of the non-conference because there have been injuries to the likes of Jasmine Jones and, of course, Isabel Harrison. You would have left your players out there for a little bit longer.
Well, that would just be my thoughts on it because I think you're seeing some real continuity tonight between some of these older players, your Massengale, Harrison, Burdick, you know, the players that really have the experience in the SEC to really compete for a title.
Crowd doesn't like the personal foul called against Moore on the block shot from behind. Well, Tennessee has been absolutely superb at the defensive end of the floor. They found their offense a little bit better. Shooting percentages up in the second half. 3:14 remaining. And again, Holly Warlick letting a lot of players come in and get the taste of this rivalry. Again, the 32nd meeting between Stanford and Tennessee. Courtney Dunbar, 6'2" freshman out of Illinois, on for the first time wearing number 13 in white. Out there with Alexa Middleton. Moore is out there as well, along with another freshman, number 31, Jamie Nard. 1-1 free throws coming to the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford out on the West Coast in the Pac-12, going to have to deal with a much improved program in Corvallis at Oregon State. You like UCLA's talent an awful lot, even though Stanford was overwhelmingly picked to win the conference.
Well, actually, California was picked to win the conference.
Excuse me, thank you.
Stanford was picked second, but UCLA, don't count them out. They've got a ton of talent right there in Los Angeles that they've taken advantage of. It'll be a tough Pac-12 race.
Yes, it is. And there it is. Speaking of the California Golden Bears, how could I ever forget the Bears? Because that women's basketball program has been doing an outstanding job for a long, long time. 9 first-place votes to 7 for Stanford.
Well, and Oregon State will be coming into Thompson Bowling Arena on December 28th, so another big test for the Lady Vols.
Step back jump shot by Middleton, a little bit cold in the opening half. Maybe the freshman feeling some nerves against the Stanford Cardinal, but knocked that one down very easily, 59-36. Good attack of the basket, but still not a finish by McPhee. And Middleton coming quickly out of the backcourt, looking for more dangerous pass, and deflected out of bounds. I want to remind you, Sunday, the SEC ESPN Network brings you the SEC Women's College Basketball SEC Big 12 Challenge. It's number 4 Texas A&M taking on their in-state rival, the 3rd-ranked Texas Longhorns at 1:30 in a battle for the Lone Star State, then the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Oklahoma Sooners at 3:30 on the SEC ESPN Network, and of course on Watch ESPN. That pass by Middleton through the hands of Nia Moore, maybe a little bit too hot to handle.
Well, Alexa Middleton really making some freshman mistakes right now. Tried to feed Nia Moore down the middle of the lane in a fast break situation. Not a good opportunity for her to catch and shoot.
Boy, if this continues historically, this is going to be one of the best defensive performances ever for the University of Tennessee. Three-pointer on the way, no. Battle for the rebound, and going over the top is McPhee. You look at this. Back in 1987, held Louisiana Tech to 44, held Ohio State to 45. About 20 years ago in 2008, held Texas A&M to 45. And in 2008, in the championship game, helped Stanford to 48 points. So this is really a historic defensive performance against a first-class basketball team in the Stanford Cardinals.
Well, no question about that. You know, and for so long, Paul, Tennessee has really been based on their defense. It started when Pat Summitt was here. She was just a staunch proponent. If you didn't play defense, you didn't see the floor. So that's something that when teams come in here, they know they're going to face tough defense. And Tennessee has definitely shown that today.
Stanford has cleared their bench as well. They will head home after this afternoon's contest. I'll get to their upcoming schedule in just a moment. Shot off the perimeter, that off the back of the iron. Moore after it, and tracked down that time by Alexa Green, who gets right to the rim, lays it up and in for the Cardinals. Stanford will have a couple of opponents out of the University of California system up at Davis in Northern California, and then UC Santa Barbara. Both of those at home at Maples Pavilion, and then they will get into conference play. Their first weekend, they will host Colorado and Utah. And no reason to foul there. 1:04 remaining, and both teams out of fouls, so it'll be free throws. Coming to Tess Picknell, 6'5" junior out of Medford, Oregon.
You know, this has got to be frustrating for Tara Vanderveer because she's had success this season running this offense. She beat UConn with it, but you've got to be able to knock down shots. If you're going to run this kind of offense, penetrate and kick, players ready to step in and shoot the ball. So another opportunity for Tara to go back maybe and reevaluate what's going on with this offense. But Tara is so smart. She's extremely bright when it comes to basketball.
And so are her players. Make no,
yes.
They will make adjustments. So the 3-game losing streak for the Tennessee Lady Vols to the Stanford Cardinal will come to an end. Tennessee led the overall series 22-9. It will go to 23, and Stanford again had won not only 3 in a row, but 4 out of the last 5. Pull-up jump shot off the side of the iron, not there as time winds down. And Tara Vanderveer, a dear friend of yours and someone I've known for a long time. When I talked to her before the game, she said this was the most inexperienced team she's had in 15 years, and they played like it today.
Well, they did. They just couldn't find a way to attack this Tennessee defense. The length, the switching, and this man-to-man defense really creating problems for their offense.
Change of pace there, laid up, missed badly. And that'll do it. There's the final horn. And the 32nd edition of this storied rivalry between Tennessee and Stanford was all Holly Warlick's Lady Volunteers. They took control of this game, Nell Fortner, in the first half and never relinquished it, and it was a blowout. They win it 59-40.
Well, it was a great example of how your defense can turn into your offense, because they made every opportunity to get the ball to turn over by Stanford, to push the ball, to score in transition, but also to run some nice offensive, half-court offense.
3 Tennessee Lady Vols in double figures, led by Ariel Massengale. Our final score, once again, number 11 Tennessee over number 7 Stanford, 59-40. We'll be back with more from Knoxville, but first let's send you to Peter Burns in the SEC Network studio.